Is it what week?
Resume. Okay, so I'm trying again to record this, and then you all should be able to, unless something happens again. Last time I tripped on the cord, um, but this time should be good. I realized I have to wait here until it processes before I leave, so that's what I'll do. And then you can watch it later. I know that Miriam is on a different time zone. It's like 3 in the morning there, so she can watch it later. And then if you're, uh, you know, if you miss something or want to watch it again, the plan is for me to post it for you to see. So we'll go with that. And again, feel free to use the chat feature for those of you remotely, or just take off your mute button and go ahead and yeah. Okay. So I'll just because we don't need to have my video the whole time.
You know, we got him from your last term. She's in Jordan. She's 30 miles away from this.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, safety first, man. Okay. So I posted some new references and resources last time. I didn't assign any readings yet, but I did today. And so if you got a chance, I kind of recategorized this section to be the first homework, and then I posted some readings that we'll cover next time if we haven't covered already. But should give you some background on the material, so hopefully this is helpful. And nothing is like a long reading. Uh, it's all pretty short and should be somewhat useful. So if I just to get right to it, the homework for next week is here under week 3 and uh, homework 1. Okay. All right. So we'll spend some time. We've already done. So these are all the documents I posted last time. I just kind of organized it into an official assignment. So we're gonna do some examples, and one of them we did last time partially miles per gallon, right? So we'll go through that one. And what I want you to do for the homework, and we'll start doing these together in class. And so whatever we get through, that's less that you have to do on your own. But there's no way we'll get through all of them. So this will be due next Saturday, and this will be our first assignment. And so I realized that kind of the frequency of the homeworks I had started with um, was too. I don't want to have that many homeworks, so I just switched the um, number with the points, basically. And what that means, instead of having 7 homeworks that are 4 points, you're gonna have 4 homeworks that are 7 points, and so that way the points are the same. Okay. Where is it? It is uh, week 3, and then homework 1. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so good there. Recording still going? Great. Okay, so okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so right, those aren't hyperlinks. That's just a screenshot of what I already posted from last week. So this will be due next Saturday, and again, I'll redo the syllabus um, point system because I think we'll have plenty of time to do 4 homeworks, um, and then 2 take-home exams, and then 2 project kind of things. So that'll kind of work out to what I wanted to, but instead of 7 homeworks, there'll be 4. and there's 7 points. So easier that way. Okay, so part one is to write or type this part out. Um, so for the Excel data sets that I posted last time, we're going to complete the analysis there. We're going to do a simple regression, one X variable and one Y variable. All right, so the effect of whatever variable we choose on the dependent variable. And then in your kind of a answer sheet or interpretation, you'll have a scatter plot with the trend line and equation. You'll put in the R squared and talk about what that means for the context of that example. Um, and that's for the Y variable only, right? And then you'll talk about the T-stat, which we covered briefly last time, but we'll go over that again. Uh, and that's only for the one X variable. And then the coefficient, which will tell us the mathematical effect of X on Y, all right? And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's a number of them, but they don't, once you get the hang of it, it shouldn't take too long. And yes? Yes. Well, here I'll show you what. So you started all of them, correct? Yeah. And so the, it looks like you did you ran the analysis, but the way I saw the output wasn't the same. So like I'll show you how to. I think you just didn't when you're specifying like this is the Y range or this is the X range. I think you just need to adjust that a bit. But you looks like you did the like you chose the right process. But when I looked at the output, it wasn't clear which like where the X variable was and stuff like that. So just a few little tweaks. Well, I'll show you during that. We're gonna do it together. Yeah, yeah, even better. Um, okay, so there's these 7, and then I put some readings that you can maybe read for next time. Um, Nothing you have to do, write up for these. And so there's these are all really short. Probably this entire set of readings would maybe take you an hour. It's like maybe 10 pages, 15 pages. Um, so the first one was I found an old textbook and I posted it there because it was free and it still applies. So this textbook, Intro to Linear Regression. This is just read this little section. All right, it's pretty good at explaining what we're doing. All right, and then this part, this is the textbook, Intro to Linear Regression. If you scroll down, all I want you to read is 1.1, so it's kind of an intro section. It's like 7 pages, um, pages 28 to 20, 21 to 28. And then I put some things on calculating R squared, uh, simple regression math by hand, and then more on the T-stat. So those things should all be posted here. So just take a look at those. There's this one, pretty useful. Uh, this one, okay, not much reading there, just kind of going through a little example. And then this one explains more of the T-stat and what the numbers come from. So take a look at all those. Again, not too much to read, but we'll go over some of the like basic math behind the results next time. Okay, so that way when you're interpreting the T-stat and the coefficients, I'm not going to ask you to calculate it for a test or anything, but maybe we'll do it once together just so you understand the process. Okay, so take a look at those things. Okay, so any questions on the reading part? Everyone has access to this? Yes. If, yeah, please. Yeah, you don't you just read them. Oh, so yeah. So I gave you like a written part and then also a reading part. Yeah. So all these examples are the written part. Yeah. So this part is just, you read it and yeah, 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 yeah. And then for at the end, I said, please submit your written or type part via email if you're not here, or you can bring a hard copy, whatever you want to do. So if it's easier for you to print it and bring it here, you can do that. Or if you want to email it to me, then obviously that's the option for most of you that are remote or telepresence, whatever. Okay, so we'll go through some of these examples together, and then you should have a good like template of what to do for the rest of them. And then just go through these readings again. It looks like a lot of reading, but it's really not. It's just a bunch of short things, and then yeah, then that'll give us a good uh, part. And then at some point, we'll start adding. Maybe next time we'll see. We'll start going with multiple regression where we have more than one X variable. So if we're not there yet, we're not there yet, but we're getting there. Okay. So, any questions thus far of what we're gonna do and what's okay? So, why don't we start with the one we did last time because we didn't really do the write-up part. And so if we do the write-up part, then that'll give you kind of a format to do the other ones. All right? So did I post that? Yeah. So miles per gallon, instructor example. Okay. Chat. Okay, so last time we got this data set where we were looking at the effect of speed on miles per gallon, and we had a little trend line with the equation, and we had the actual output from the data analysis part, and yeah, so no one had any issues with the data analysis package. Uh,
This is the only one I had is to find the coefficient, the line equal to 8,000. That's the part.
okay, well we'll do that together. All right. So okay, so do we all have the? We'll start here because we already did this last time. Does everybody have the graph here and then the output like this?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have that?
Do you have
Yes,
that?
we do.
Okay,
Hold up.
from last class. Exactly. Yeah. If you don't, it's actually. I mean, if you don't have it, I have it for you right here. Okay. So why don't we start with we do this? I'm gonna save this uh, assignment as a separate document, and then we'll start adding to it. How about that? Um, week three. Okay, so when you turn it in, you can call it like homework one, DBA675, and or at least put your name on it, so I know who it is from. Um, and then do that. Okay. Um, now, all right. So we'll start doing the first one, and you don't have to do the exact same format or wording as me, but I'll just kind of give you some examples. So the reading part, we're not gonna. That's not. there won't be a book report. So just do the reading, and I'll assume that you read it, and we can talk about it next time. Okay. For these ones, you can maybe like make a separate section for each one if you want. I can call part one the MPG one. Okay, we don't need that. And then what we can do is kind of go with these. So this tells you what you need to do, and then you can kind of put it in there, right? So little tweaks here. There we go.
So there's actually two, the instructor.
Yeah, that's the one that right, yeah, right. Okay, so first part is for all these, you want to have a scatter plot of the equation. And so just to clarify, when you turn this in, I don't need any of the Excel files. Just put all your stuff on one document with little screen caps and answers, and that's it. So just one big thing you're turning in, or not that big. Okay, so we all know how to take a screen cap, maybe, or in Excel you could just okay. Actually, before you take a screen cap, um, might want to just clean up the graph a little bit so I know what it is. So I'll try doing this. I'll stick to doing this the Mac way because I know Windows does that too. So if you click on your graph and do chart design and add chart elements and axes titles, you can select both of those. Okay. And then because we're going to label the axes, you don't really need to have the um, title. So if you click on add chart element and take away the axes, sorry, the chart title, it's probably fine. Okay, so this axis is miles per gallon, right? MPG, oops, it's possible to see like that. And this is the Y variable, okay? And this axis is speed, or yeah, speed um, in miles per hour. That is the X variable. So you don't have to write the exact same label, just as long as I know what it is. This is miles per gallon, fuel economy, and this is speed, miles per hour. And the goal was to see if the car goes faster, what happens to fuel economy. Okay, so
So how do you, I apologize, how do you get to be able to write the stuff and like where am I going? Like on Excel? Like what do I hit?
oh, so you click on the chart. Oh, you got okay. All right, thank you. And then so we got a question. Everybody good remotely? Let me know if you have any questions. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, so we just got the graph here showing or attempting to show the effect of speed, the x variable, on miles per gallon, the y variable, and we have our observations, the fitted line, and then you have your equation with the r squared. So that's good to go. You're welcome to, if you want to at home, click on the format thing and you can change. There's different, chart types and colors. If you feel like expressing yourself through Excel, you're welcome to, um, but not required. So, what? Uh, yeah, no, yeah, I have some. I like to, and the thing is, like, you'll see playing around with the design that like some charts look better. So just click on the chart design, and yeah, there's different style. This is optional. Yeah, yeah, uh-huh, yeah. If you want to stick with the basics, you can stick with the basics, but yeah. But first you have to run the, yeah, exactly, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay. Yeah, yeah, we already did this. Yeah, we already did this.
Well, because this is,
You want it to like take a screenshot of that? Well, I'll show you. So for part A, just take, you can, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can take a screenshot, or you can, in Excel, you can just click on the chart and copy it, like Control C, and then if you go to the Word document and just do like Control V, paste it. Yeah. So there's part A, right? That's what's going on and what you're trying to predict, right? So then after you do the data analysis part, you would have the other things, such as the R squared. We essentially did this last time. I'm just kind of uh, you know setting up what you do for the other ones. So you put this R squared in there. So the R squared, you can copy and paste it if you want, or you can type it. Okay, there's the R squared, which is, you don't need to show all those decimals. I think 0.83 is good. Okay. Yeah, two decimals is good. The only reason you want a third decimal for any circumstance is if you have two zeros before. So like if it was 0.001 or something, then you'd obviously not want to show just zero. But yeah, for the most part, R squared and most things could be two decimals. So 0.83, okay, is the R squared, and you can put the little, interpretation. I like to use this thing to like uh, transition. If you don't have to do this, but under insert symbols, there's like a little arrow symbol that kind of moves me to the next section. Here's the R squared, and then optional. Okay, so the R squared is this, and we know interpreting that that means that roughly 83% of the variation in miles per gallon is explained by this simple regression. I don't have 2 lines there. Okay, roughly 83% of the variation in MPG is explained by this simple regression. Okay, so there's part A, there's part B, and so on. Yeah. Okay, and maybe I'll make this a little bit bigger so we can. See what's going on. Okay. Next thing was the t-stat, and this was the thing we left off with last time. So might be the most unfamiliar because we didn't spend a whole lot of time on this. But the t-stat from this example, you can take it there. So the t-stat is equal to 6.22, whatever that is. So you can copy and paste that. Yeah, yep. T-stat. T-stat. Only the one for the x variable. So not the one for the intercept. For the speed, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so T stat equals. So we can round to 6.22, right? Okay. Now we know that we have to compare that to the t table, right? And so this is the part where I'll probably have to show you again, but um, just in general for practice, when we get later in the road, you'll just know that that's a big enough t-stat. But let's go through the process first so you understand why. Um, so I posted last time, I think, yeah, this t-table link. Okay, and it this column is the degrees of freedom, which we'll go through again, and then this column is the significance level. So you're really looking for 95% significance in most cases. That's kind of a standard rule of thumb, which is in statistics or in any kind of like data analysis. That's going to mean that you're essentially 95% sure that what you got is true, and there's only a 5% chance of getting like a false positive or whatever you want to call it. So a 95%. How do I get it? Oh, under week 2 here, t table. Yeah. Okay. And now let me show you where. So what you want to look for is the t-value in this chart that you have to confirm that your t-value is bigger than to identify significance. So this Excel will tell you your degrees of freedom, but it's not that tricky of a computation. It is essentially the number of observations you have, which in this case are 10. So you have 10 data points, and then you want to subtract one data point for the intercept and another data point for the x variable. And then if you had more x variables, you subtract more. So you're, yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, so then we first want to determine our degrees of freedom. Okay, so degrees of freedom are essentially the number of observations in the data set, and you lose a degree of freedom for each variable, including the intercept. So that means that it's going to be 8. Okay. So if you look at we have 10 observations, right? That's 10 things. Um, and then we have an intercept and we have a variable. So 10 minus 2, and it, Excel tells you what it is too. It's right here. So see where it says DF. That's the one. I don't know what these other things are for, but this is the right one.
Yeah, because when we did it last,
Yeah, I think I,
whatever,
yeah, I think I wrote you the wrong one, or I think I misspecified last time because
it's actually like,
yeah. So it won't make that big of a difference, but yeah, that's right. So the, the
What do you? Okay, so. No, that's the concept. So number C. No, yes, A. Yes.
yeah. Okay, you're welcome. Or thank you. Yeah. Okay. Now what are we doing? Okay, so we have the t-stat, negative 6.22. We'll do this part again in a second. But I wanted just to confirm that you want to get the degrees of freedom. I mean, just the one that's in the middle section, residual, because it's going to be 10 minus the number of things you have to take away. So 10 minus 2 is 8. So we know our degrees of freedom are 8. We're going to go back to this table. So here it is, the degrees of freedom, 8. You know what? I just this okay. This, this website. I'm going. This is like watching. I don't know, like everything everywhere all at once or whatever. Why there's so many things. I'm trying to just um. One second. One second. Okay. Let's do this. So okay. I'm posting a new T table because that one isn't cooperating. Okay. Let's see if that worked. Under week 3, there's a new T table right here. Yeah, there we go. It's a PDF. It's a lot easier to see. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we had 8 degrees of freedom, right? And we wanted to look at the 95% significance level. So if you can see what I'm doing and highlighting, I'm going to look at this one because at 8 degrees of freedom and 95%, we want to look at 2.306, right? 95%, 8 degrees of freedom, 2.306. Well, that's the standard um, confidence interval, but that's the standard reporting confidence interval.
If you scroll to the bottom of that table,
Yeah, yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's just yeah, you're matching two things. Okay, so 2.306, and next time it's going to be slightly different because we probably won't have the same degrees of freedom. Okay, so 2.306, and the critical number to compare it to is 2.306. So we know that, let's see, let's just make a separate line, or let me do this. Okay, so 6.22 in absolute value equals 6.22, right? Remove the negative. So negative 6.22 and absolute value is 6.22. Okay, so the sign is just the direction of the impact. So we want to compare the absolute value to see if it's bigger than 2.306. And it's pretty clear that 6.22 is bigger than 2.306. So that would tell us that the x, or what variable is this? The speed, miles per hour variable is significant at the 95% confidence level. Okay. So for part C, you go find the t-stat from the table. Negative 6.22. It's going to be different for the next example, but it's going to be in the same spot, right? It's probably going to be in D18, whatever this is. So negative 6.22. And here it is. And then just remove the sign if there is one. So an absolute value, that's 6.22. And then you want to compare that to the critical T that we got from the table, which was 2.306. And because 6.22 is bigger than the critical, that confirms significance. And that means that the miles per hour variable is significant at the 95% confidence level. And so that essentially means that you're 95% sure that this result is the true outcome. And only, actually, I mean, technically, if you looked at this, um, it's significant at higher levels. We're just using this as a baseline. You know what I mean? Like if we're looking at the 6, and here's our 8 degrees of freedom, it's significant at the 99.9% level, technically, but it's also significant at the 95% level. So just stick with this column, but know that just because it's 95% doesn't mean it's not more significant, if that makes sense, because that's how the table works. But I like just to stick with this one for simplicity. Okay, if you can confirm 95%, that's usually good enough to get your results across. If it is bigger, great. But if you're going down to like less than 90, probably not going to have a good audience to receive the results. Okay. Questions on the T-stat part?
No, I'm just trying to find the
Oh,
error.
it's go to like, yeah, insert. That's surprisingly a question that comes up every time I start using it. Yeah. It's a nice arrow, right? It kind of just gets you moving. Okay. Now, last part of this one is we are going to interpret what we found in the relationship, and that's looking at this coefficient for the speed variable. So that's it, negative 0.28, whatever. And I'm going to put it right here. So the coefficient equals that. Okay, now we can interpret what that means with the after the arrow. No, definitely not. Sorry. So let's do negative 0.29. Yeah. Okay, so our coefficient for the x variable only, don't worry about the intercept, is negative 0.29, and that should be the same one that you see up here, negative 0.29, right? Okay, so that is the linear effect on average of x on y, so that means when speed goes up, this is what happens to y, or to MPG. So we I think we phrased this last time is if speed increases by 1 mile per hour, then fuel economy fell by 0.29 miles per gallon. And this, again, this is an average effect. And you can also make kind of a little note. This is only what you found from this data set. Might not apply to every single MPG and speed analysis, but from this data set, that's what you found. So you can say something like, from this data set only. Okay, so if speed increases by 1 mile per hour, then fuel economy fell by 0.29 miles per gallon on average from this data set only. So pretty much every time speed goes up by 3 miles per hour, then miles per gallon goes down by about 1. Okay. And really that's the full interpretation of what you need to know at this point. So be able to visualize the scatter plot with a line, know what the r squared means and the interpretation for this context. The same with the t-stat, and then probably the most important thing is quantifying the linear effect of x on y. Okay, so that's what this part is. So here you are quantifying the linear effect of X on Y. You don't have to write that, but that's, yeah, I'll post it for you, sure. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do another example. Okay, so basically you're going to repeat this process for all the other examples, okay? And we'll do some more. We got plenty of time to, I don't know what time it is, but we got at least another hour. Okay, so questions on this one? Everybody good? Jordan, Michael, Rashid, Shamsa? Okay, we want to jump into another one? We want to break? We want to do another one? Okay. All right. Okay. Uh, I need to say this. Yes, you're free to use the bathroom, man. Like, there's no, this isn't prison. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now let's do another one. Yeah. Well, should we wait for her to come back?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Stretch break, I guess. Yeah. So I'm lucky. So do I guess. Yeah. And I'm old. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Of course, I'm usually only looking like this far away. So I can't read. I can't like read that thing over there from here. No, I can read that, but I can't read the. Yeah. I see Laverne at the top. Okay. Okay. We'll pick up here in a minute, just for those of you. Quick bathroom break.
So, for now, oh, no, I just have so for the ones that have two, like we were talking about that case super one.
Oh yeah. Then you got to define which one you're going to look at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I ran both, so I definitely like to go over that. That was like the first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's all you would do with that first one. once you showed us how to put that data out, but does it for you.
Yeah.
I think once you work out more side and everything, it's good. But if you don't know, then that makes it different.
Yeah. Well,
But once you figure it out, what's what
yeah.
pretty good.
If you don't know, now you know, right?
I mean, once you figure out, okay, this is different, this is way, what you align, it's good. Automate.
Yes.
I mean, wow. Not bad. Wow. Yeah.
Well, if you've never done it before, then you wouldn't know, right? But now you can.
But I'm looking at what's the PowerPoint, Word, HI,
Yeah.
those are
Oh no, no, thank you. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Does he does he have a? You counted your dates? Yeah. Well, they said no break, but then there's. That's all right. Yeah. All right.
Now it's time for take break. Three of us didn't take break, they took break.
Oh, everybody gets a break in about an hour and a half. That's a long. We can take another break. So, well, okay, so we're gonna continue for those of you um, not zooming in, but WebExing in. So, what do we have anybody want to choose which one we do next? Is consumer? Consumer. Okay, we'll do them both. All right. Yeah. Okay, so we did MPG. Let's do consumer. All right. Okay, so let me save this so I can post it later. Consumer, yeah. Okay, so first thing we'll do is do a scatter plot. So this one has two possible x variables. So I guess we can either do two of them, or we can, yeah, I guess that's what we'll do. So there's two separate analyses here, all right? So there is the effect of income on amount charged and the effect of household size on amount charged. And this is like amount charged on a credit card. So you would think that households that earn more would spend more on their credit card, and also household sizes would increase, and that would lead to more charges. Okay. So why don't we stick, or why don't we start with one or the other? Um, or why don't we just do household size and amount chart? Okay. So let's select B1 to C51. So all of the household size and amount charged section. And let's do our scatter plot. So insert, and then insert scatter, and then scatter plot. Okay. So we're gonna define our variables, but this is household size. So we have a seven, like, people in the household. So the 7 people in the household, so on. It's under insert, and then here's like a little right there. Insert tab.
No, no, I'm just trying to look at this chart. Oh, got it. I have a question. I had done the chart, but I didn't get the number 1 to 5. I just got the chart without having the number 1 to 5 both sides.
Should be 1 second. It should be default. But...
Now I know what the chart is.
Good job.
Sir? So
I think you just didn't choose the label node. If you don't choose the label, then it won't. Okay, so we've got a little graph here, and let's make a note like we did last time of what this is showing. So why don't we click on the graph and chart design and add chart element, and you can add an axis title for the horizontal and for the vertical, and we can just, for simplicity, remove the chart title. Okay. And then you can also, I mean, you can also make it a little bit bigger if you want to see what's going on. Okay, so this is, how do I do that?
You stretch it out.
That's yeah. Okay, so amount charged in dollars on the credit card. So amount charged in dollars, and then this x-axis, or let's make a note that this is amount charged dollars, and this is the y variable. Okay, and this is household size, and this is the x variable. Amount charged, household size, right? Okay. So it looks like, so what does it look like happens here before we start doing anything? When household size goes up, they charge more on the credit card, right? That makes sense. Okay, that's it. All right. Click click on the chart, and we can do chart design, add chart element, trend line, and more trend line options. Okay, so let's stick with linear. Um, y- we're gonna get the well, we might as well do this here. So display equation on chart and display R squared value on chart. Okay, and then yeah,
Yeah, okay, so. And then from there, you click on the chart.
yeah, we will.
Like we can put it anywhere. But
You can put it anywhere, yeah. You can make it bigger, you can, yeah.
Yeah, what I'm getting more, I'm not getting that, maybe
I think it's already chosen.
this is what you want to do. That. And then you can click on that. Okay.
All right, so that was. Chart.
Chart design. And then add chart. Trend line. And if you don't see that trend line thing, so you can just don't. If you want, you can. Thank you.
Okay, now let's. Okay, everybody's good? All right, why don't we'll move this around, but before we do, we can right click it, the trend line labels, and do format trend line labels. And you can change the category to number. And you can leave the rest as default. Okay,
we press add.
I think you just yeah, just close it and it does it.
You said number, yeah, number, like once you close out of it.
Oh, it's with that.
Mhm.
And.
What is that?
It just made it so it's 2 decimals and like a comma and simplified. Yeah. All right, so you're welcome to kind of move this. If you just click on the box, there's like a little four-way arrow that you can move it around, so it's out of the way. You can also, select this text and increase the size so it's easier to see. Like that, if you want. You can mess around with it, but that's your equation, and that's your R squared. So again, you're welcome to make different chart designs, but it's sometimes the default's a little small. Okay, but your equation should be y equals 404.13x plus 2581.94, and the R squared is 0.57, so a bit smaller than the previous example. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, why don't we continue with the same homework one with your name, and let's call this, you don't have to put these in order, but let's just set this up so we can do it again. I'll go to page 2. Let's start. Okay, let's call this one consumer. Let's call this example 2. And we're going to put all this stuff in. Okay. So first thing is to put in the graph, right? Okay, so if you take this one and you can just copy it, Control C, and you can paste it right here. Control V. Oop. All right, so there's your graph. Shows the y variable, the x variable, the equation, the r squared, the data points, and the trend line. Okay, now to get, I guess we already had the r squared, so we can do that now, and then do the analysis part. So the r squared is 0.57. Okay, and that, so what does that tell us here? Well, it would explain the y variable variation, right?
So 53% of the variation. Explained by
Yeah, except it's amount charge, right? Because that's the y. Yeah, right. Exactly. So 57% of the variation in amount charged is explained by this regression, simple regression. Okay, there we go. Now, to get the t-stat, we got to run the analysis part. And
Okay. I did I like different number. I would think 0.5, 0.34, I square.
well, you did, yours explains that.
This one was I square 0.57, right?
Yeah, I think you want to. Yeah, Okay, let's run the full analysis part. Go back here. And what do we do? So data tab, and then data analysis, and then choose regression. We can skip the whatever it was before. Yeah, we don't need that. That's kind of boring. Uh-huh. You might have to reload it if it's not there. It's pretty easy. Yeah. Yeah.
Guess that's right.
So now, okay,
Now we have this, but
yeah.
I'm gonna show you how to.
And then regression.
Yeah, so then you'll do data tab, and then data analysis, and then regression, and okay. Okay, so our Y range is the Y variable with the title. So if you hit this button and choose C, a shortcut is like, if you hit Shift Control down, it'll select all of it. Yeah, so try, it's like a, all at the same time. Shift Control down, it's like a, it's almost like a fireball in like Street Fighter.
Okay, hold on, I suck at Street Fighter. Where?
Down
Oh.
You use Guile?
Okay.
Yeah, you play with Guile, just did like this. Okay, so, but you want to have selected C1 to C51 and hit this button. You can double check there. It didn't select it?
It just. Okay. Okay, rain.
Shift Control down, but do Shift first, Control second, and then down third.
No, I don't know.
It work? No?
No, I did. I'm just trying to.
Nice. Yeah. It happens, yeah.
That's the whole.
Okay, and then what?
And then the rest, this button, now you're gonna do the X range, which you're gonna do that for that. What do we do? Household, yeah. Household. So then you can go to the top. Like that. Control.
All right, well, that's good.
And then.
Okay,
Go back. Okay. So I'm fine.
you caught up? Yeah. Your down button doesn't work? Oh, okay.
This will be.
Well, okay, so you could just use your mouse to select it all. It was just a shortcut. It, if you have like the for Y range, it's just the amount charged.
So, so
C1 to
if
C51.
So if you hit this right here, you click on that, and then you do the shift control down arrow, and highlight that, and then you go to the next one, you click on that, shift control down, and click everything. Different format?
Oh yeah, that's, I forgot there's a different, yeah.
Yeah, it took me a minute to figure it out. They never like control.
Oh, you can do that too. But it's, oh, it's easier than selecting? Okay. Yeah.
Well,
You might want to like a little plug-in mouse.
And then.
Well, yeah, the next thing is to do the X range. So
I just can't see it.
the X range is B1 to B51. Okay. Well, you don't have to, but if you don't have them, then it won't show it in the output. So it's, yeah, I like to see what the variable is. Get the dollar sign. But you don't need, you can leave the dollar signs out if you want, I think. Yeah.
I've learned more about Excel today than I have in my.
Well, you're gonna learn a lot of Excel stuff.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I have seen position that I'm the position is gonna have. Oh, cool.
Yeah, well, it seems like you're a lot better this week than you were the previous. Like, yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then if you have the labels chosen, you want to hit labels. Yeah. So Y range is C1 to C51, X range is B1 to B51, and then click labels, and then hit OK. And it should give you this. So it should be similar to what we got in the little trend line. Okay, so we've got some things that we're going to interpret. The R squared is important. We've already interpreted that, I guess, but
You want us to highlight?
no, I'm just showing you what you
Okay,
need to
okay.
focus. Yeah, you don't have to highlight anything. It's just,
No.
yeah. It helps you like ignore all the other things. Yeah. So 0.57, that's right, what we got last time. We're gonna need this degrees of freedom thing. And the reason it's 48 this time is because there's 50 observations minus 2, right? So we have more degrees of freedom. We have more room to get some error. Okay, and then you're gonna want to have this coefficient. And then
48.
for
No. Why don't you come and sit closer? There's a car over here, man.
yeah, is there?
Yeah, there's one right there.
Yeah.
Sit closer.
Yeah, you could. Right. You could move the tables so they're like facing stuff if you want. I don't know if it's easier. Because I don't either. Yeah.
This building is.
Yeah, we can just make like a front row so you guys can all just be.
Is your class next door? Is it
Uh-huh.
regular class?
Yeah,
Is there any way to connect that?
I don't know.
Like,
Good question.
like we could just go.
Yeah, we could just do it in there.
And I have like super good, so I could like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could be into
That classroom's it's a little cramped,
that. I did see, yeah, it does. This is.
and it starts getting hot. Like I don't know, it feels like you're in like a server room. Yeah, kind of right. This room's better. Okay, and then T-stat. All right, so we've already got the much better, right?
Yeah, but my number shouldn't match.
Um,
The number I got, 47, 48.
wait, you might have to re-specify. Okay, another. All right, so another thing we can do, just to simplify things if we want, is if you hit this like arrow up at the top to choose everything, and under Home tab, Format, and Format Cells, you can just specify number with 2 decimals and the $sign, I mean the comma, and hit OK, and that'll take, then you don't have to worry about rounding off. It does it for you. So Home tab, and then Format, and then Format Cells.
Format is equal, conditional formatting. Oh,
This one?
Mhm.
Yeah, and then you can choose number with 2 decimals and the comma. It makes it easier to see. Okay, now. Yeah,
So they're like 40.
right. Oh, we just do like whatever, if it's less than 60, you go to the next one. Yeah,
So it'll be like 40.
because the difference is like infinitesimal.
I didn't know, like,
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't change.
it doesn't change much.
Yeah, you got two.
It feels kind of, yeah, it feels like 59. Right. You'll notice that like 40 is 2.02. 60 is oh, right. So it's the residual. That's like what you're using.
Degrees of freedom.
Degrees of freedom.
You don't need to. You don't need to.
So then our number is 0.024 dollars. For the
No, there's a supposed to be, supposed to be more than here.
95% of things.
But that. Okay. That'll grab it.
Okay, you get it? Got it? Or Noble?
Yeah, I did think it's gonna work though. Okay. That's why I say that I have to do that. Yeah, my numbers are matching. One.
Okay. You might have missed one.
No, I don't. I went to the living room from here. The light. But you want to start? You what? This one? Okay, that is. I missed that part.
And then B1.
Yeah.
B1.
The C1 I got it already. This is C1 I got. B1.
Let's see.
I want to say this is Y. Yeah, I want to say.
B1 is 51.
No.
Oh, even if people-
No. 67.
Oh. That's right. You got it.
Now I went up because that was, I would like to choose
Oh,
A,
no.
that. Okay, thank you. So from now on, choose from to one, A. All of them.
Yeah, okay, so we've got the rest of our stuff here. All right, so we've got part A, part B, and then now we need the t-stat and to compare it to the critical. So the t-stat is 7.92. Okay, and the critical t would be to look at that table. So, right, so we're less than 60, so we're in the 40 range. 2.021, right? Okay, oops. So we know that 7.92 is bigger than 2.021, so that confirms significance for this one. So this would tell us that the household size variable is significant at 95% confidence level. Okay, same thing as last time, except it was a little bit easier because we didn't have a negative. So compared to the critical t, and that confirms significance. So our t-stat is 7.92 from the table. The critical t at 48 degrees of freedom and 95% is 2.021. And if our t-stat is bigger than 2.021, then it's significant, right? 7.29, 7.92? Yeah, 7.92. And that's bigger than the table from the t value from the table, 2.021, right? 7 is bigger than 2. And so that means the household size variable is significant at the 95% confidence level. Right? Okay. Last thing is the coefficient. So, oops. The coefficient is 404.13. Should be the same as this one. It is. All right. So what is that? How do we interpret that?
we'd say for every 4 people. That could.
Well, you're going it's the other way. So
Okay.
this is the effect on Y if this goes up by 1. So this means essentially if,
Spending.
yeah,
That
if the household size increases by 1 person, the expected effect on amount charged is an increase in $404.13 charged. Okay, so again, this is always the effect of you're quantifying the effect of X on Y for all these cases. So if X goes up by 1, the coefficient tells you what happens to Y.
Can you please show me one more time the C?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so far, I mean, I got A, B, and D. The only thing is C.
Okay, so the T-stat from the table is 7.92, right?
Table.
From here? Yeah,
This time. Oh, what table? This time?
it's like the summary output from Excel,
Okay.
7.92.
Yeah, 7.9, yeah.
Okay, 7.92.
Mhm.
And then you look at, so how we look at our degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom are 48, right?
Yes.
48, okay. Then we go to this table, the T table, your favorite. Uh, and look, so here we're at the 40 range, we're not at the 60 range, right? So that means at the 40 range,
I thought it was 48, right?
well, I know, but it's
Oh, mine
the
was
tables
50
start,
minus 48.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
40, here's 40s. When we go to the 95% number, 2.021, right? So if we have 40-ish degrees of freedom, at the 95% level, the critical is 2.0, yeah,
Okay.
2.021. And we want to check if RT is bigger than that critical T. And so is 7.9 bigger than 2?
Yes.
Yeah, so it is. So that means that it's significant at 95% confidence. So all you, yeah,
So we're gonna do another table with, yeah,
I don't know, dude. We could, or we could,
I ran both, but
Okay.
you said for this assignment, it's just one.
well, I don't know. I hadn't, there technically is 2 different options, but we can do the other one too.
Both.
It's,
I already did this, I did this one, I just wanted to see if I got it right.
okay, yeah, well, we'll do it then.
But
Actually, I wanted the movie one.
The movie one? Okay,
but if we didn't get that one, I'd at least like talk about the movie one.
okay,
It'd be-
okay. All right, so we got,
but if-
or just, like, it's gonna be filmed.
It's exactly the same. The scatter is different, but some of the numbers are different, but it's.
yeah, I'll run the analysis for you, but then you can do the interpretation. How about that?
And then, but to answer, like, for the homework, would be both of you want to-
Well, I hadn't decided, so I was, I mean, if,
This is that one better.
Well, cause like for this, like, I'm looking at this. movie.
yeah, I say we just pick one from each. Right. But if you want to see if that one's right,
Yeah, that's really why I just wanted to see if I was on the right track.
let's see.
I think I got that one.
Movie one. Go be crazy, you know.
Okay, so here's the one for uh, amount charged looking to be affected by income. So here's what I got. If you want to look at the coefficients like 40.47977. That's what you got? Okay, yeah, so you did it right. Okay, so for this one, let's just say for the homework, you only have to do this one. So only look at the effect of household size on amount charged like we did. You don't have to do the income, okay? So just one of them. So
I have a question. If you have to look for like, for example, like income and charge, how do we do that?
I would have to,
Because-
I would
because
tell you beforehand.
The graph is so, I mean, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I tried, I just can't do it.
Oh, you mean graph this and this?
Yeah.
You'd have to move them together, like move things around. Yeah. 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 Okay, I'll just write that in the chat here, so we only do the effect of household size on amount charge for home. Okay, so income is optional. Okay, so only do the effect of household size on amount charged. For homework, income is optional. Okay, so let's save this. Oops, that's for now. Wait, what the heck? Let me get rid of this.
If we do the movie one, we run our idea, how we interpret it before you show us what the Excel library.
Yeah,
So we can see kind of like if we're starting. I have an idea of how I would.
Yeah. I can't get rid of this language thing now. Oops. It's like, this is really, I don't know how to do this. Closed captioning? There we go. I don't know. Okay, so we got this one done, right? Okay, you want to do the movie one? Yeah. Do we need?
Kind of stuff is all gonna be the same.
Yeah.
Running the data,
Right.
generating your plot.
We don't need a break, right?
No,
Okay.
just,
Yeah, we'll do one more and then we'll be done. How about that? Okay, so let's, and then I'll just look at the other ones just to make sure we know what to do. Movies.
see, when I was reading this movie, I didn't know which guy was the truth.
That's what I'm trying to.
There are a couple different options, I guess. I hadn't specified yet. So, okay, let me save this one first.
I don't,
Yeah. Put it up here.
I totally don't do that.
Okay, so we've got. Everyone I'm still here. We've got some, all right, so we got different movies from 2016 in the top 50 or whatever. So we've got opening gross sales, we've got total gross sales, we got number of weeks in the theater, and we got weeks in release. So the goal here is to try to predict total gross sales with some of the other variables. So this is going to be our Y variable. Okay, and then either any of these could be an X variable. We'll just pick one. We don't have to do them all. Now you could look at different graphs, but you would think that opening gross sales, number of theaters, and weeks in release, all those things should, or possibly could increase total gross sales. I'm not sure which one is the most significant, but why don't we look at a few graphs and see?
Look at total gross sales and number of theaters. This will make more effect. Or the number of theater plus gross sales. Those two make sense.
Number of theaters and yeah,
I just, but they're all.
for this class, yes.
Okay, yeah, because I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Both of them could have been a Y.
Well, I mean, you could define it, but for one example, yes, yeah,
Yeah, I feel like you
Yeah.
gross sales,
right.
for this case,
For this case,
we're doing total gross sales.
right. Okay, so what we can do to decide which one we want to use is look at the graphs real quick. And so you don't have to do this, but let me just look at gross sales versus opening gross and see what it looks like. That looks pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So it looks like opening gross sales help predict total gross sales. Like if there's more sales in the opening week, which obviously makes sense because, yeah. Now let's look at total gross sales. Let's see if I can do this. I want this one to be. Yeah. So, wait, no. That's not the way I wanted it to go. Okay, so I want. Let me see if I can.
So it's orientation depends on.
Well, you can pre-specify it, but it's not. It's sometimes it's a in the ass. Yeah.
If you move row C, the Y.
If I move, no, the way it's defaulted is you select two things, and then the one to the right is the Y.
Okay, so if you move C all the way to the right,
Yeah.
in this case, it would also be the
Right.
Y.
Yeah. So let me just move these around real quick, just to make it easier to see.
Yeah, I'm asking. There's probably a computer tech that can do it.
So I'll put total gross sales here again. And here, just to make it easier.
Yeah.
To do the graphs, but now it's confusing. So we've got opening gross sales. Now let's do number of theaters. That one's kind of weird. And now let's do weeks in release. Let's see which one we want to do. But that one looks like it's not.
So,
Yeah,
to the top one.
it looks like it. This one could also be an option, but I don't see anything with this
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Still, my second one was better.
Yeah.
compared to all of them.
okay. So we've got, we'll do one, we'll pick one. So we can either look at the effect of total gross sales with opening gross sales, with total gross sales, I mean, number of theaters, or weeks in release. It looks like this one will get nothing. These two could equally give us something. So do we want to do opening gross sales or number of theaters? Yeah, I think number of theaters, this is like, this one's almost like a trick. It's like
Yeah.
sales predict sales. Big deal.
I think
Okay.
So it will be like total gross sales and number of theaters, right?
Yeah. So what you need to do is arrange it as such. So just, I think here I can start from the beginning if that helps.
No, I got the graph already.
Oh, okay. Okay. So does everyone have the graph of?
And then viewing.
Okay. Yeah. So all you want to do is put the number of theaters and total gross sales in consecutive columns, and then choose the area like this. With the, you can't do that because your arrow doesn't work, but you can do it like this.
The total gross sales. And the number of theaters, like. The number of theaters, on the left side.
Number of theaters would be. But you know, like left, right, I just look when I want to.
So this is what I did. So he did one for each one. I just took gross seed. So that I could grab it. First, but we did
I
that.
got it.
But
I didn't even want this to come up.
what I did is that I took this way and I've done this way.
Yeah.
But I just
Whatever works.
I
Yeah.
just left.
Okay.
Control V.
Yeah.
Now. Because we're doing the number of theaters and that one.
Yeah.
So you can. Select that. I can control, select that. You can also just move lease or release over, so you. But you gotta have this one. always. I'm just from here. Actually. quickly.
Okay. Okay. So this is the only graph we need, really, and then we'll do the labels. So anybody need help with this graph? Okay. Got it? Yeah, everybody's got it?
I've done that one before.
Oh, you already got it? Oh, yeah. All right. Okay, so now let's format this a bit, and then this one, total number of theaters versus total gross sales. Yeah, that's all. I'll get rid of the other ones, or I'll just,
Is number of theaters X, right?
number of theaters X,
And total gross is Y.
total gross is Y.
So what?
Looks like it needs to be flipped around. Like axes switched.
So you take the line.
Yeah.
Hey,
Number.
you can take it.
Yeah.
Insert.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Highlight.
You 20 minutes.
I know you can-
Yeah, I do X money, that's
Yeah,
all the time.
and then
And they additionally. Wow.
That's all right. We'll do it again. Okay, so you got the graph? Okay, so if you've got this one, total gross sales or number of theaters X, total gross sales Y. Let's click on that and let's do a little formatting. Chart design, add chart elements, axes titles, click on the horizontal and the primary, vertical. And you can click on add chart element and remove the chart title. Right?
No, I'm fine. Chart, sorry about the chart.
Oh yeah, so chart design up here. And then add chart element. And then axes titles and check both of those. And then I removed the chart title. Right? Okay, so this title should be total gross sales. And that's the Y value, and I guess this is millions of dollars. And this is the Y variable. Okay, total gross sales, millions of dollars, and that's the Y variable. And the X variable is number of theaters, theaters, X. Okay, total gross sales, millions Y, number of theaters X. Okay, you know,
Yeah.
uh, uh, okay, then we're gonna run a trend line. So click on the chart again. And chart design, add chart element, trend line, more trend line options. And you can choose, the linear is the default. And you can choose display equation on chart and display R squared. And then we should have this little section here that we're gonna format. Where's the?
I don't know why.
Yeah, it's that's strange. All right, we can fix that. Just did that happen to everyone else? Weird. Oh, maybe because it hits there's no y-intercept. I mean, the y-intercept is negative. That's why. Yeah, that's okay. We can, yeah, that actually that's we can leave it because that shows that we'll hit down here.
That's what that.
Yeah, yeah. So why don't we click on the label and then right click it and format trendline label and change the category to number again. And then just close out of this. And you can move this guy around and you can maybe make it a little bit bigger to see. Um, okay, so
Stop. Dude, stop.
okay, so we have a graph here showing the number of theaters, how that affects total gross sales with the trend line, and then the equation on the R squared. Yeah? Okay, so we can put that into our Word document. So why don't we start a new section for this one? Okay, well, let's call this movies. Okay, and we'll need, this will be part 3. And we'll need a scatter plot. We'll need the R squared. Need this. We'll need this. Okay. Okay, so first thing is to put in this the scatter plot with the trend line. So you want this one only. You copy that, Control C, and you can paste it right there, Control V. Yeah, there's part A. Okay. Now the R square equals 0.38. Okay. So that's going to tell us that, what's that going to tell us? Right, exactly. So 38% of the variation in total gross sales, the Y variable, is explained by this regression. Okay, now we got to run the analysis to get the t-stat. So back to this one. Okay,
One minus 5.8.
what?
Minus 5.08. So number of theater would be 11.69.
Oh, you've done it already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's run the data analysis part. So data analysis, regression, and then okay. And then Y range is only E1 through E101. E1 to E101. And X range is D1 to D101. And if you choose labels, that'll give us that. Okay, so Y range is E1 to E101, and X range is D1 to D101. Labels is checked. Okay. What?
Right? You just said the Y and the X.
Let's see, movies kind of bit.
You haven't showed that.
Hmm?
You haven't showed that.
I don't usually choose that.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so did that work? So you should get a summary output where number of theaters is here, the X variable. Oh, output range. So here, I'll show it to you again. So data analysis, and then regression. So Y range is E1 to E101. X range is D1 to D101, and then labels is checked. And that's it. Yeah, I think you clicked on this,
Yeah,
so you can if you want.
yeah, because I read it.
Yeah.
Why did it do that?
I don't know. Well, we can learn about that, but you don't have to worry about that right now. Okay, and that should give you this. Is this what everybody got this? Okay.
Regression. Output missing range.
For the coefficient, which should we choose? Is that
This one,
cell or?
number of theaters.
Oh, okay. This is like a-
So the regression output out of brain, you see?
Because I want to see if
Okay.
yeah, that was the only part that I thought you were.
No, I
thought you were doing that straight. Should roll down there.
yeah, actually, that's what I did.
But this is the same thing. Sort of.
No.
That's
I know what you're wrong. Yeah.
the thing. What's the my chart? I tried to pull out a trend line just to get it to go to the to just to get two decimals. And if we're I put in number like two, but it wasn't updated. So if I understanding? Cause I still,
Yeah, that's just for.
I still like,
It doesn't matter.
you're trying to change it.
No, it's fine.
I still like
Yeah.
0.37, but it actually be, this would be 0.8.
It would always be over, so it is done now.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Control.
Okay, yeah, but that's pretty good.
Okay.
Let's change it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Wow.
We just,
Okay. So time. So we got
So we got the I square, we got residual, we got the number of theater coefficient.
and we got the T stat, right?
Yeah. This, but this, which one do you get? The minus,
It's the 7.681.
that's, okay, that's the one. And so you get the, coefficient, you get a coefficient?
Yeah, the coefficients should be 0.0.
Nine.
Yeah. Which one is that you? So I should. Yeah, just for the graph. That's how it prints it out. Yeah. Because it looks great.
when I originally did it, there was that number was a it didn't say 0.38, so I and then put type in 0.38. Like right here.
Yeah, normally it should be like a separate tab. By the default, but for some reason it's making it separate. So that was it's being told that. Okay, we're pretty much out of time, but okay, so I can post this. Can we complete the rest of this, we think? Yeah,
But could I say my thing?
sure.
Create 3% of variation. That's by this
That's right.
T-stat equals 7.69. Number of theaters. Variable significant effect.
Good.
Coefficient. Number of theaters increased by 1 theater. $1 billion. What the value?
Yeah, that's right. That's all correct. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you're good. Yeah.
What I would say.
No, you're good. I mean, you got it.
Want you to show me the
Yeah.
the copy of the C.
Okay, so why don't we, I don't want to keep you guys past time, but I have to stay for a second to finish the video downloading, so let me stop the video,
You can send it,
But-
I'll give you email from-
but I can answer questions after, here in a second.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also got it, but, I'll be sending an email.
Yeah, okay, so Jordan, Michael, Rashid, we're gonna wrap it up because we're at time. So let me know if you have any questions about the homework, or anything else, and I'm gonna stop the recording, and I'll try to put it on YouTube, assuming it gets processed this time. So thanks for joining, and I'll see everyone next week.
Okay,
Oh, thanks.
sounds good. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you.